What's going on, everybody? I am live. I'm not sure if I'm going to get anyone on this live video today, but I did a 20-30 minute one this morning. Like I said, I think I'm going to do a lot of lives and maybe leave once a week doing the nice editing and recording of the videos and doing the repairs and stuff. And once I get the 4K live camera, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some live repairs. I only got a 720p, and it's just not really looking good to me on the screen. I haven't watched back the videos after they're uploaded and rendered, but I should be seeing good quality here, and I just don't like the quality. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just, put out the money, get a 4K webcam. I do have 4K cameras, but like I told you in the last live video, it does take some time to edit it correctly. What I want to talk about now is after my first live video this morning, I got a lot of messages on my Facebook about why you don't have to start a business when you're in business. And I'm going to give you my opinion on it, and we'll go from there. Now, if you're selling one thing, and I'm not even going to say phones or non-phones or anything like that. If you're selling one thing a week, you're just doing a marketplace, yeah, you should be fine. But if you actually want to make this a part-time business or not, you should go ahead and start your business. It'd be a sole proprietor. I don't really recommend LLC unless you're going to get bigger. And corporation, of course, you're not going to want to do a corporation right away. Now, remember, you can always go ahead and grow into something else. You start as a sole proprietor. You can go ahead and start an LLC later. You can start a corporation later, and blah, 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 blah. But everyone's like, oh, you start a business, you got to pay taxes. Well, you should be paying taxes anyway. If you get caught not paying taxes, it's a really bad thing. The IRS, I mean, I don't agree with having to pay what they want. I mean, I'm with everyone else. It does really suck. But if you don't pay them taxes, a lot of bad things can happen to you, and you can actually get shut down before you even get the ball rolling. I know some other people say don't start a business, just do it on the side and everything else, and blah, blah, blah. But let me ask you a question. I mean, if you're one of the people who want to pay cash for every single thing, I totally get it. I totally get it. But let's say you want to go buy a brand new car, and you're going to go there and you're going to give them $30,000. You're going to have some way. They will check. I used to sell cars. They will check. Where did you get this $30,000? Oh, you got a part-time job. You're only making $30,000 a year. And they start raising questions, okay? Because they got to report that sale. And it starts raising questions, and it does. I have seen it go snowball just from purchasing a car. But the other end is everyone just looks at the negative side. When you actually start a business, you can actually start claiming different things that you cannot when you're not a business. To give you an example, I can claim portions of my clothing. I can, of course, gas and mileage, there's different options there. Let's say when you go buy, let's say you're going to go buy tools. You don't have to, I know you can go online and buy them and without tax, but let's say you're going to go to Goodwill. I don't pay tax when I go to Goodwill, guys. I don't pay any sales tax at all. None. Zilch. Nada. Because I'm a business. When I go to these thrift stores, I don't pay taxes. I don't pay the sales tax because I don't have to because I'm a legit business. So there's a nice little thing. Now, you're going to have to pay them sales tax, especially on local sales. Now, there are different laws if you sell online. The sales tax isn't the same. Now, that might be changing here soon where everyone's got to be charging sales tax. But the sales tax is not your money anyway. You just take that sales tax and you put it away for your time. They don't charge you extra. A lot of people don't understand that. So if I pay $1 for a can of Pepsi, I love using a Pepsi because I have it here always. If I pay $1 for that, and let's just make it round, nice numbers, not 6.5, or let's say 7 cents on the dollar, you pay $1.07 for that. That business takes that 7 cents and puts it aside. Then when you file your income, your sales tax, you just give that money to them. That easy. Seriously. So it's not like you're losing money for sales tax. Everyone does. They're like, oh, you got to pay sales tax. Well, when you charge the person, you just take that extra portion and you just set that aside. Now, what I do is I would have 2 bank accounts if I were you, and I would take it. I would render today's sales and deposit that and deposit the sales tax in another account. Then it's separated. You never see it. You never care. It doesn't matter. The sales tax goes into another account. Now, sometimes you got to file monthly sales tax. It matters on your volume. Monthly sales tax, sometimes you can do quarterly sales tax. I think you can do 6 months in a year if you're really small. But I think it's monthly and quarterly. mostly. But you're not, you just fill out your form, you send a check in, or you can, I think you can just, most of you guys can do it online, your sales tax, so it's state by state. You can just do it online, put your card in, boom, done. It's that easy. So don't let sales tax scare you. Don't let sales tax. Now, income tax is a little bit different. And that's where you want to get your claims in, your travel times and all this other stuff. But you want to be honest about it. You don't want to sit there and say, I drove 100,000 miles this month and I blah, 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 blah. Keep your gas receipts. I recommend actually hiring an accountant. They save you more money than you're actually paying them. And you keep it as organized as your accountant. I would talk to an accountant and say, how would you like this organized? But keep your gas receipts, your clothing receipts, when you buy paper labels for your printer, your internet cost, your electricity bill. If you're doing it out of your home, if you're doing it out of a shop, your electricity, your internet, everything at the shop, every single thing at the shop. If you're doing it out of your home, you can do an office in your home. That's totally fine. You can still be a business, sole proprietor. You can be an LLC out of your home. And you can claim everything. Your computer, if you buy a new computer or a tablet, you get a new phone, your phone line, if you use it for business. No joke. Everything can be claimed. And a lot of people are like, I made $40,000 profit. They didn't make $40,000 profit because they're not thinking of their time, all this. And that's why I say, if you're going to do sole proprietor, it's a little different, fine. If you're going to do an LLC, another one, you make yourself an employee. You want to look in to see if you're going to get yourself an EIN, if that's worth it to you. If you're going to have employees, you do need to have an EIN. And like I told you, it's like a social security number for your business. I don't recommend ever getting an LLC and not getting an EIN. I think it's counterproductive. I've talked to many lawyers when I did it. When I went and did all my stuff, and getting an LLC without an EIN is kind of like, oh, yeah, it says LLC. An LLC is supposed to protect the owner sort of a little bit. But if you're using your social security number, you want that EIN. Your social security number is tied to that EIN, so don't think it's not. But it gives you different leverages. But I say look into it yourself, talk to a lawyer. This isn't a joke. This isn't a fly-by-night thing. You don't want to sit there and go, I'm going to do this now and just start selling on eBay. And if you're doing $10,000 a month on eBay, I promise you they're going to 1099 you. And it's not eBay 1099ing you. It's PayPal 1099ing you. PayPal is going to want the file, so they got to talk about where all the money's coming from that they're getting. They're getting their 2.6, whatever they charge people. I charge 2% or 2.2, I think it is. And they make that money, and they got to show where that money comes from. And they're like, well, we didn't send the 1099. They got to claim it all. They got to say, hey, I sent this person this much money, so that we don't have to claim that. That's his money or her money. So they're going to 1099 you. They will. It's no ifs and buts about it. I think it's over $3,000 they send you a 1099. And if you're doing $10,000 a month or $5,000 a month, you're going to want that trace. That's why it's so important for that bill of sale. And I know another person that talks about the bill of sale, and they're like, oh, it's, he does it right. He says it's for the tax purposes and if it's stolen. And he's correct. If I buy this can of soda and it ends up being stolen and I don't have proof where I got it from, it's going to come back on me. Okay. But that bill of sale will say, hey, I bought it from this person. Here's their driver's license, blah, blah, blah. Now, you're like, well, I'm going to lose sales of it. That's another reason to go legit. I recommend, I'm going to tell you guys some stuff. If you're going to go full-time, you're going to go part-time, there's there's options you can do to become more legit, but not cost that much money. Okay? Being a business and, legitimizing your business is very intelligent to do. And if you want a business-like place so, they can meet you, you'll close a lot more deals. I'm kind of giving away some secrets here that I really didn't want to give away. But I'm seeing a lot of information not being passed along, and I want to tell you guys. Renting out an office alone. There's offices out there. I know they're all over. I've looked before this video. You can rent an office for $50 a month that you can use up to, I think it is 3 to 4 times a week. And you can actually go in there and work, or you can use it all the time just to meet people. You can make it where you get your business mail there. Now, I wouldn't do something like that. because there's tons of offices out there in office buildings that you can get that give you like a 10 by 12 office for $100, $150 a month. I looked almost in every major city and I found them. Up to $200 a month. Everything's included: electricity, snow removal, all that good stuff. Most of them are furnished. You get to use the conference room. They usually have a secretary downstairs that you sign for your packages if you get packages and all that other stuff for $200 a month. Now, I'm not saying that you want to run your whole business out of there. If you're buying phones, you don't want to leave your phones there and set up, unless you want to. You can leave it all there and do your whole setup. When you leave at 5 o'clock, you leave at 5 o'clock. What you could do with that $200 though is give yourself a legit place to look professional. And then you say, I need to have that driver's license. And then you just get your scanner, scan the driver's license in and put it all into your computer, and boom, bam, you're done. It's done. That's what I do in my business. Everything goes in. I scan the driver's license. It goes into a file. And then once that customer comes back to me, I never have to see their driver's license again. I have it. Every purchase, the purchase order goes in my computer. Purchase order goes in the computer. It's a rotation. That's one thing that it protects you. And then on the tax part is you can say, my inventory, I sold this month, I sold $10,500. What an awesome month. But it cost me in product $4,000. So you don't have to claim all $10,000. You're not paying taxes on all $10,000. You're going to be paying taxes on the $6,500 so far. But then there's other things you can claim. That office is claimable. It's claimable. It's going to make you more money, and it's claimable. Now this is stuff getting deeper into it. And I know I cannot do something in 11 minutes. I can't explain this. And I'm not telling you to go drop everything and go get an office right now. I'm not telling you to drop everything and go get a business right now. I'm telling you to start looking into it. I'm telling you to maybe go get some legal advice and tell them what you're doing. If you're starting to sell $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month on eBay, I truly recommend becoming a business. Get a business account on PayPal, put your EIN in on PayPal, put your EIN, they go links into eBay, and they know you're a legit business. It goes a long, long way. So you're not just a fly-by-night person that's selling 20 cell phones for no reason. Like, who's this guy buying these cell phones? And then your account gets locked down. I've seen two threads today in the groups saying that their eBay accounts got shut down. And that's what I'm saying. I think some people are rushing into it. It's something that you shouldn't rush into. Now, I get it. If you got $10 and you're trying to do some small flips are fine to get going. But when you become legit, I mean, if you're not even sure where to go, there's places like LegalZoom. LegalZoom's actually a really good place for someone that doesn't know what they're doing to go in, and they kind of do it all for you. But it is weird on some things. I would really look into it, because I don't think you get their state stuff. They just like put your information on a form and they send it to you, and then you got to send it in, and you pay them like $75 for the state side. And you're like, well, what's all that? You're looking at like, I could just fill that out. I did do LegalZoom on my very first business I ever did. I paid them $400, and I did the state side on myself. I created an LLC at the time. And they did all the paperwork. They registered the name, everything else, got me EIN, everything. Now I know what to do. I don't have to, but that is a good way to go. They sent me a book. It's all really nice. It's leather. I got a seal and everything. But it doesn't cost that much if you file the paperwork on your own. And I think it takes like 6 weeks, if I remember, with them or something like that. Usually you can get it done a little bit faster if you do it yourself, or contact a lawyer. There are lawyers out there that does this, creates a business, and it's always good to have a lawyer. In LegalZoom, you get a lawyer representative. You can call all the time if you want, something like that. And I'm not sponsored by LegalZoom or anything like that. It's just an option that's out there for you if you are new and you want to get going. But I think it costs like $400 or $500 to get a business legit through them. But again, I do say seek legal advice starting a business, because when you start a business, I've seen businesses close and people lose everything they've owned because they've messed up in a way that they didn't do purposely, but they messed up and they lose everything. So you guys got to remember, especially if you're going to be repairing. I know a lot of people want me to talk about repairing, and I'm going to be doing a live video about repairing here in a bit. You want to have insurance. The reason you want to have insurance is if, let's say, someone brings in a laptop and I don't know, you're doing a screen, but you accidentally spill something because you were dumb and had drinks on your desk when you were doing it, and you spilled it all over their keyboard and motherboard, and you don't have the technology there to do water damage, and oh, you got to send it into this guy in New York, and he's going to charge me $400 and blah, 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 blah. And then that person's like, if you lose my data, it's millions of dollars of data in there, and you want to have insurance. It's really, really, I'm honest, especially if you're dealing with business clients. It's just so important to slow down sometimes and not go the quick route, because I'm seeing people online. I've been watching a lot. I'm on the Facebook pages, and I'm seeing people flutter out. And I know that a lot of people are really focused on their success stories. And I'm going to tell you that what I'm teaching you, and you go do it, and you succeed, it wasn't me succeeding. So I shouldn't be boasting saying, oh, this person succeeded. I didn't succeed. I passed knowledge on. It took you to go take that knowledge and use it. And I'm guaranteeing no matter what I teach you, you're going to go ahead and you're going to add something to it, subtract something to it. You're going to find out what works best for you. You're the one that did it. You're the one that has the drive to do it. And that's what this is all about drive. Flipping stuff is all about drive. You can't get lazy about it. I'm going to take my watch off. You can't get lazy about it. I mean, I do too. I get lazy. I don't list for 3 days, and I wonder, oh, my sales are down. I haven't listed. eBay is about listing every day. Seriously. I have a rule where I list at least 10 things a day. I don't care what it is. I list 10 things a day. And usually it goes up to be more than 10 things a day. But that's a general rule. I mean, you want to get the process going. You want to stay busy. There's another YouTube flipper out there that I watch a lot. He doesn't know who I am. But I don't like saying people's names on. I know they probably want the free advertisement, but he's always doing videos every day. He's doing live vlogs, and he's always saying, I'm staying busy today. And you got to stay busy. You got to be productive. And he's right. He's 100% right. You got to have downtime. And he'll say that too. You got to have that rest time. But you can't rest 24 hours and work 1 hour. You can't do that and expect to succeed. Being in business for yourself, there's no boss behind you saying, let's get this done. There's no boss saying, let's do this. Let's get this done. And some people say that's a good thing. Well, the reason that there's managers at these companies is because someone needs to drive the other people so they succeed. They're not bosses to be mean. They're bosses to drive the business. So they're just to make the business succeed. If the business doesn't succeed, you don't have a job. And if you're on your own boss, if you got your own business, if your business don't succeed, you don't have a job. I'm going to tell you something right now. One of the worst things is getting fired from a job. The worst thing in the world is firing yourself because your business did not succeed. That's harder to do than anything else in the world. To look yourself in the mirror and go, this ain't working. It's done. I got to go do something else. That's hard. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Everyone fails. Everyone fails and gets back up. But I'm saying it's a hard thing to look in the mirror and tell yourself that. It's really, really hard. And I've done that before. I'm like, this is not working. We got to do something else. This isn't working. So what I'm telling you guys is sometimes it's better to research and take the steps slower than jumping right in and saying, this is what we're going to do, and just go in it and fumble through it. There's so much information on the internet, so much information that can be had for free, that you should learn from these mistakes. You should learn from other people paving the way. And like I tell everybody that's on the chat sometimes, I've done this for 20 years. It's something that I've been buying and reselling stuff for 20 years. And it doesn't matter what the product is. It does not matter if it's phones, pens, paper, watches. It doesn't matter. Soda, video games, clothing. Someone is getting rich. My phone's talking to you guys. Or not my phone, my watch. It doesn't really matter. If you go into a store, everyone says there's no money in clothing. Tell that to Walmart. They make billions of dollars on clothing a year. Billions. There's no money in, you want to start a soda brand. If that's what you want to do, go do it. Pepsi did. Coca-Cola did. 7-Up did. There you go. Go start your own soda company. Do it, though. Get off your ass and do it. To give you an example, I want to talk about this. Give you a little history about myself and give you guys some motivation is I'm into video games. I like video games. I don't play them that much, like different stuff. I do like Rust. I did bring that up in another video. I play Rust on Steam, and I get some buddies and we play. But you don't see me getting into games like, oh, I got to play Castlevania today, or I got to play this. I might turn it on for an hour and I play for a little bit, and that's about it. But I like video games, and I like fixing video games. I like 1980s computers, and I like newer computers, and I like photography. I got really nice cameras and video cameras, and I like just going out and taking pictures of wildlife. I'm a big reptile nut. If you guys do Google my name, Gary Orner, you'll probably see a lot of reptile stuff come up. And I've been interviewed on radio shows, and I used to have my own radio show and stuff like that. And it's just, you find stuff that you like to do, and you try to make a business out of it. And that's what I've done. But to get going back to what I was talking about is I'm trying to do something I've never done before. And I'm trying to teach myself it now. I'm reading books. I'm looking online. I'm trying to create myself my first video game. I'm actually going to write it from scratch. And there's a couple Facebook pages that are really helping me out. I ask questions like, what does this do? And what's that? And they're not sitting there putting me down and saying this or that. They're just helping me. They're not charging me for the content. They're just helping me. And they really helped me. And I got the idea in my head, and I want to do some videos about it. And when I get something that can go on the screen, I want to show it and stuff like that. It'll be computer-based first, just to give a little talk about it. And it won't be for game consoles, but it'd be really easy to port over to game consoles the way I'm coding it, or at least that's what I'm told. So I'm hoping it's true, but I'm going with people that are more intelligent than me. I'm using my ears more than my mouth when it comes to something I don't know. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. They go into something, they're like, I know this already. They don't use their ears twice as much as they use their mouth. They use their mouth twice as much as they use their ears. And that's a problem when it comes to learning things. Like, if I consider myself one of the top video game and computer people in my area. I consider myself it. There's computer repair shops around here that tell people, and Best Buy tell people this cannot be fixed. We tried, we cannot fix it, and I fix it. There's times that people come to me and says, I need to get this video game. I know where to get it. I know how to do it. So I'm really good at that. And when it comes to the reptile world, I'm known a little bit, and I know my game. I know what to do, and I know reptiles very well, but I'm not an expert. That's a good place. Like, I know leopard geckos really well, and lots of snakes and a lot of venomous species. I used to have monocle cobras and boom slangs, and let's see, other western diamondback rattlesnakes, Mojave rattlesnakes, Massasaugas, and stuff like that. I mean, I had tons and tons of venomous snakes, but I never had crates or taipans. And so I couldn't tell. Someone came in to me and goes, well, how do you take care of a taipan? I could regurge what I've read on the internet, but I couldn't tell them firsthand experience. So I would tell them, say, well, go to this person, they own them. And when them people talk, if I'm in a thread and them people talk, I'm not contradicting them. They know what they're doing. But now if that person talks about leopard geckos, I know what I'm doing. So I could teach them. And that's something that, you see people butting heads in the reptile world too, like I do the reselling world, but the veterans, the people that truly do know, they don't butt heads as much. They know what they're talking about, or they're learning. They're using their ears when someone knows more. And I've got another phone call. I'll send that to the other phone. So I know I can get rambling, but that's one big thing. And I see it on the forums now is, not forums, but the pages, is someone says something and then someone else says, no, that's not correct. the other person just gets really defensive right away instead of reading what they do. I read to this day. If someone has something to say, I look at them like, okay, let me see that. And I'll look into it myself. And if I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. But they'll sit there and bicker back and forth, you know. And there's no reason to bicker back and forth. If you want to succeed, like I said, you need to use these more than this. It's just the way it goes. You want to become a sponge. You want to get as much knowledge as you can, because knowledge is power. And if you got product knowledge and you're a good person, you can sell anything to anybody. It's just the way it's going to be. So I know this kind of went off on a rant. I do that a lot. I'm sorry I do that. But creating a business is something that you're going to have to not take lightheartedly. You're going to want to think about it. If you have a wife, a girlfriend, a husband, or you know, a boyfriend, and you guys are a business partner, you're going to want to really sit down and talk to them people and say, this is what we're going to go. This is what we're going to do. And really look into it, because making yourself legit protects you also. There's different protections for different types. If you're sole proprietor, LLC to corporation, there's different protections for your, you know, personal asset to not personal asset. There's a lot. So there's not enough time for me to even think about telling you guys all the right and wrong moves to do. So what I'm telling you to do is jot down what you want to get out of your business, kind of write a business plan, what your goals are, what you're going to do, and go talk to a lawyer or, you know, something like that, or talk to someone in your area that creates. But there's people that help create businesses, and see what they say, because they will give you a free consultation. They will talk to you and say, it's going to cost you $400 or $500 to get this going, and you can talk to them, but then it's done right. You want to make sure it's done right. You don't want to do it on a whim and miss one thing, because you miss that one thing, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And I'm sorry if you don't like profanity, I do say it once in a while. I take this with I'm a passionate person, and reselling and making money and the reptile trade and all that I'm very passionate about. And I don't like seeing people, you know, crush someone else's dreams. If you want to do something, go out and do it. No one else is stopping you but you. It's just the way it is. So if you want to create a business, make sure you don't even just take my word for it. Don't take anyone's word for it on YouTube. Please don't do that. But it is a smart move to do if you're going to be doing this in any volume at all. I mean, if you're going to be doing one phone, two phones here and there, or you're going to be doing one computer, you're going to sell sports cards here and there, maybe go to a trade fair once in a while, fine. But if you're going to be doing this where you're selling and trying to make money every month, I recommend looking into making a business. There are benefits, not just bad things. If it was just bad things, a lot of people wouldn't do it, but everyone strives to be their own boss. But when you're being your own boss, be your boss. Make sure you got the drive. Make sure you got what it takes. Okay, guys, so I got another topic I got to do, so I'm going to go ahead and I got to go to the post office. I got some stuff I got to ship out. Got boxes. Let's see. I don't want to take it all up, but I got boxes. I shipped this in this box too to send out. So I got to get them to the post office real quick, and then I'm going to think about that next topic I got a message about. It's a touchy subject, but guess what? I touched touchy subjects. When I had my own radio show, I touched them. I didn't care. I used to have a radio show called Shock Jock This Too. That was back when shock jocks were big. It was just called Shock Jock This. And I used to have a reptile show, and I touched on subjects no one else wanted to touch on. So what you're going to get from me is the real. I'm going to tell you, if I don't know something, I'm going to say, I don't know. Go find out. I'll help you research it. But if I do know something, I'm going to say it. And that's one reason a lot of people get upset with me, because they usually don't catch me being wrong, because if I don't know something, I'm man enough to say, hey, I don't know. I don't know. And or if I do know something, I'll say, this is what works for me. This is what I'm doing. So I know the goal is $10,000 a month for a lot of people. Get to that goal, but make sure your first goal is reachable. Okay, that's another thing. Put your 5 goals on your mirror every morning, and make sure you hit them goals. You know what I'm saying? If you got, that's something else, life goals. I say, put 5 goals on a sheet of paper and put it on your mirror, so you look at it every morning. And when you hit one of them goals, cross it off and replace it with a new goal. Never not have a goal, never. So every single day, reach for them goals. I'm going to go ahead and go. We spent 30 minutes. I do this a lot. I keep rambling, and I got to get to the U.S. Post Office. And the next subject is going to be kind of touchy, and I might make some people mad. I don't know. It might make you happy though, because the whole thing is to make you maximize your profits. So keep the flip real.